We all know that parenting is the toughest job you'll ever love. But what happens when things go, well, seriously wrong? When the love is still there, but it's buried under chaos and worry? Today, we're going to dig into some really powerful insights from retired clinical psychologist Lane Lasater on how you can find clarity and a real path forward even when things feel completely overwhelming.
Let's just start with this quote and let it sink in for a second. This right here validates a fear that, let's be honest, every single parent has. This isn't about being a pessimist. It's about being real. It's about acknowledging that we can't control everything, and you know what? That's the first step.
I mean, we worry constantly, don't we? About car accidents, about sickness, about all the dangers out there in the world. But the truth is, we just can't build a bubble around our kids. So the real question isn't how do I prevent everything bad from happening, it's how do we handle the challenges that actually show up at our door, the big ones and the small ones.
Yeah, because beyond those huge, catastrophic fears, there are these day-to-day storms. You know the ones that just grind a family down over time. And this is where so much of the hard work of parenting really happens.
Just look at this list. It's a tough list to read, but what's so important here is how universal these things are. A kid's grades start slipping, money gets tight, trust gets broken. These are the curveballs that life throws at pretty much everybody. So if you're going through any of this, please hear me. You are not alone. These things happen.
So when one of these storms hits, what's our first instinct? It's to grab the wheel, right? To take control, to fix it. But this is where we run into a really tricky bit of human psychology, the control paradox. See, a young person's need for their own autonomy, their own space, it's not just them being difficult. It's a deep, powerful, natural instinct. And the more we try to clamp down on it, the harder they're going to push back.
And that pushback? Yeah, it sounds a lot like this, doesn't it? This is the battle cry of pretty much every teenager who's ever existed just trying to figure out who they are. Let's look at a story that shows exactly how this whole paradox can spiral out of control.
Okay, so this is the story of Joanna. Her father, for his own reasons, tried to exert total control. He forbade her from seeing her boyfriend. But look what happened. Every attempt to control her just backfired, one step after another. It started with her seeing him in secret. Then the rebellion got bigger, leading to a pregnancy. And his final move, an ultimatum, just threw gasoline on the fire. It's a heartbreaking story that just perfectly shows how trying to force an outcome can create the exact disaster you were trying to prevent.
So if grabbing control isn't the answer, then what is? Well, the journey out of the chaos starts with one single thing, getting a brutally honest look at what is really going on. This is where real change begins. And clarity just means asking some tough questions. What's working in our family? What is absolutely not working? How are we all doing really? Getting that kind of clear picture stops you from just running around putting out fires all day. It helps you figure out where to focus your energy for a change that actually sticks. Now, to help you get that clarity, Lane Lasater developed this fantastic tool. And hey, don't squint and try to read every single line on the screen right now. Think of this less like a quiz and more like a mirror. When you're in the middle of the storm, you completely lose perspective. A tool like this gives you a chance to step back and see an objective snapshot of your situation, maybe for the very first time.
And as you go through it, the survey asks you to do something really important. Pick out your 3 highest scores, just 3. Those aren't your biggest failures, they're your starting blocks. They are the areas where putting in a little bit of work is going to have the biggest impact. The total score gives you a general idea of your family's overall challenge level. But here's something that's really, really important. Even if your total score is in the low range, having just 1 or 2 things that you rated a 9 or a 10, that can signal a major problem that needs your full attention right now.
Let me tell you about another person, Mary. She was a single mom and she was at her wit's end. Totally exhausted, feeling depressed about her son, Matt. They used to be so close, and now she just felt completely rejected, like he'd abandoned her. She was just desperate.
And the warning signs were all there, blinking in bright red. His grades were in the tank. He quit the track team, something he used to absolutely love. He was sneaking in at 4 in the morning. Mary was just sick with worry, feeling totally powerless as her son became a stranger right in front of her eyes.
The turning point finally came, but it came from a crisis. Matt got arrested, and as part of that whole legal process, a judge ordered Mary to join a parent support program. Sometimes it's an external shock like that that finally forces an intervention we would never have chosen for ourselves.
And this is the real key to her story. In that program, Mary found her people.
For the first time in ages, she could talk to other parents who just got it. No judgment, no advice on what she should have done, just understanding. And that connection, that simple act of sharing, it broke the cycle of isolation. It was the first real step on her way back.
Okay, so we've talked about the problem, and we've talked about getting clarity. Now for the most important part. What do you actually do? How do you chart a new course for your family?
I really love this quote because it takes all the pressure off. This isn't about some huge, dramatic, overnight fix that feels totally impossible. No, it's about the incredible power of small, consistent steps. Progress begins with just one little positive action.
So the whole path forward really comes down to these two simple but super powerful actions. First, get specific. Name the 2 challenges that you want to work on most. And second, create a vision. But instead of just focusing on everything that's wrong, you're going to describe in detail what right looks like. What does a really good day in your family look and feel like, say, a year from today?
And that vision you write down, it's not just some fluffy daydream. It's a tool. It's your compass. It's the North Star you can use to guide your decisions. When you reread it, and you should, often, it helps you see the little choices you can make every single day, the small steps that will actually move you closer to making that vision a reality. Which brings us right here to the final, most important question. It all comes back to that one small step. So thinking about that vision you have for your family, what's the first small thing, no matter how tiny it seems, that you can do today to start moving in that direction?